It's time to get excited. We are in the middle of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, shifts, certainly in recorded history in the entire planet. And there is so much good stuff happening right now amidst some of the chaos, which needs to happen to wake people up. Most people that watch these transmissions are completely aware of that. But there's a certain few simple tools that if we implement them, we can accelerate not only what's happening in the collective, but what's happening in our own lives. Because right now, another exciting thing is that timelines and energies and frequencies are speeding up as they come into the planet and as more of the collective begins to awaken. So there's a quickening of the timelines that we are able to pull in to our realities using our thoughts and our words, and then the emotional frequency or vibration that we put behind it. So let me share with you a couple of these tools, because we work with energy and magnetism all the time. We are magnetic beings. We're turned on all the time, whether we're aware of it or not. And this is exciting because it's very simple to understand. All one has to do, or the invitation, is to simply begin to consciously be aware of how you're creating your reality. And the way that you're creating your reality is with the thoughts, the beliefs, the words, and the emotional frequency that you put behind that. And instead of running on automatic pilot all day, so many people just wake up in the morning and the same thoughts just start running. I got to get up. I got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to get in the shower. I got to get the kids ready for school. And that's fine. But if you awaken out of the sleeping dream in the morning, and while your head is still on the pillow, you take some deep breaths and love on every one of these trillions of cells that's been loving on you unconditionally, without you having to do anything since you've been in the womb. That automatically raises your frequency. Now, if you take that frequency of self-love and gratitude and a smile, and you begin to consciously envision what you have already manifested and pulled into your reality, key word, what you have already manifested and pulled in to your reality. It's never in the future. That's 3D. That's the old program. That's how we thought it worked. Well, I'm going to try and I'm going to work and I need and I hope and I wish. That tells the subconscious it's not here yet. So these really simple shifts can completely change what you manifest into your reality simply by getting excited and getting into alignment with that which you desire to see in your reality and in the world beyond. And 5D New Earth is already here. It's already here. It's not in the future. It's already happened. And if you're not seeing it, then I invite you to get a little bit more curious, because so many people are only focused right now on what is being pumped out of the media because they've done a really good job of putting in everybody's faces. But when you begin to just step back and observe, you can go, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how it works and how so many people still believe this? And isn't it interesting that I can sit back and observe and still hold a very high frequency? And the beautiful thing about holding a high frequency of observation versus reaction is one person can be holding a high frequency in their heart of just observing, and it can counteract a million other people that are sucked in or triggered right now. That's the power of the heart and the power of intention. So it's really, really key, and it should be really exciting to understand that things are speeding up right now. And the fact that we are walking magnets. And when we begin to create a reality first thing in the morning, and then periodically throughout the day, as many times as possible, and just check in and go, where's my frequency right now? What am I focused on? Am I happy? Am I excited? Am I triggered? Am I feeling depressed? And observe that and figure out why. Because you can have one trigger, you can have one depressing thought, you can have one depressing event happen, you can feel that in your body, and you can go in and shift it immediately. Yeah, there might be a little bit of residual, and there might even be some memory if it's kind of a big one. But you can shift back into what we call 0 point or observation mode and just go, okay, so I felt something that didn't feel that good to me, but now I have the awareness and I've learned that frequency and vibration is what sets the frequency of my inner magnet, which is manifesting and pulling in all these timelines, people, places, events, synchronicities, abundance or lack of abundance, maybe repelling it. If you still have beliefs that money is hard, money is difficult to come by, I have to work really hard. You know, these are all programs that are very, very valuable to look at, and they can be much more easily dismantled when we're willing to get excited, which is one of the highest frequencies, and go, okay, all right. So I'm learning, I'm growing, my conscious awareness is expanding. I'm having deeper conversations with people that I resonate with. I'm being mirrored by other people. If I say something that's, depressing, or if I'm telling the same story that I've been telling and somebody gently mirrors me and says, hey, even if that's still kind of part of your reality or your memory, I invite you to begin speaking and telling your story and telling your subconscious mind that it's already shifted. Oh, I'm already abundant. I'm already wealthy. It just magnetizes to me the most incredible people, the most incredible synchronicities, the most incredible events. They just show up in my reality every single day. Why? Because I say so. And I set my intention every morning and throughout the day to be in gratitude, to be excited. And these are the keys. It's just that so much of this stuff got covered up trying to survive. And we didn't realize that we were using spell words like need, want, hope, wish, try, going to, should, could, can't, difficult, struggling. These are all spell words that tell your subconscious to give you more of that. And in the case of saying, I need to, I want, I'm going to, I'm trying, the subconscious just goes, okay, it's not here yet. And when you figure this out, the light bulb goes off and you simply start to practice every day how you use your thoughts and your words and your emotional frequency and vibration that you put behind it. And when you get to the point where you realize that being playful, being the playful, conscious observer is the most high frequency thing that you will ever do, you'll start to see all these synchronicities and magic and miracles show up in your life, but they're not magic and miracles. They are the law of frequency and vibration, and you are a walking magnet. It's really quite simple. It's just a matter of practicing undoing the low vibrational repeating thoughts. And, there's super simple tools. This book is so simple. My whole YouTube channel is filled with these videos that are all free. They're all free. If you want to buy the book or the digital course or come journey with me for 30 days, it'll change your life. But all this stuff is free on my YouTube channel as well. It simply requires just being excited and practicing it. But the one thing that's interesting is when people get things for free, it's really a trip, because if they're not invested in going, okay, my life depends on this. I really want to change, but I'm scrolling through Facebook all day long, which a lot of us do. You know, I'm connected with people all over the world, all of you amazing souls out there. It's great to connect. However, if you really want to create the biggest, most incredible shift in your life, now is the time to do it. And it simply requires practice in using the tools. And there's really only 3 pieces of the waking up in the dream process. And you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be the name of my book, but it's inner healing. You got to do it. Clearing any frequencies, traumas, past judgment, guilt, lack of forgiveness for anybody. It's easy. Only the ego doesn't want to do it. But if you're consciously aware and you go, okay, am I still holding on to any negative feelings towards anybody, going all the way back to my parents, my grandparents, first grade, second grade, whatever they did to you on the playground, whatever your friend did who stole your boyfriend or stole money from you or called you fat or whatever. Yeah, those memories, they kind of hurt because we believed them when we were younger or whenever they happened, and we felt the pain or the emotional frequency of that. And if we don't go in and clear that, then they're going to be hanging with us. But it's so easy to clear. I do it with people every single month, almost every day of the week. You get on a call or you have a conversation with somebody and you keep it light and you just go, okay, so what's going on here? So my father did this to me when I was younger. He used to talk down to me. He used to berate me. He'd say I was never good enough. I'd never amount to anything or whatever. Okay. So number 1, that was part of your soul contract with your father who gave you the gift of life and brought you into this reality. You had an agreement. Okay. So, and your father probably had his father talking down to him because 100 or 200 years ago, things were a lot tougher. All right. So your father has his own issues, you know, and maybe your mother. So, okay. But can you forgive them? Can you thank them? Can you find the gift? What's the gift? Oh, he was always mean to me. He used to abuse that. Okay. Well, what's the gift? Let's not talk about the story because you chose that on your soul contract, even if you don't want to admit that. If you're willing to be open to that and go, oh, is that a possibility? That I chose that? Are there really soul contracts? Yeah, there are. And you might have been the mother or the father to your father in another lifetime. You don't know, you know, or maybe you do. I personally don't remember my past lives. And a lot of us don't because it might interfere with our current soul journey and contract. But the bottom line is that I'm talking about here is we cannot move out of 3D into 5D and higher if we're holding on to any judgment, any resentment, any lack of forgiveness for anybody, including ourselves. You can't do it. You can go up if you're being nice and compassionate and loving and everything, but if you're still holding on to something that you have not cleared in here, it's going to keep coming back because it's a frequency match to a 3D lower vibrational timeline. So this stuff is really valuable because it's number 1, it's really, really simple. And we weren't taught this in school for a very good reason. The school system was set up to teach us what to think, not how to think. And our imagination got squashed right away in first or second grade. Sit down and be quiet, pay attention. You know, the goal is to get playful and get back to being like a little child and to wake up every morning and go, wow, this could be my last day on the planet, but man, well, look at those flowers. Look at these animals. I have food. I have water underneath my shower. I have electricity. I have a heartbeat. I mean, these are things that people might just go, yeah, well, I need more than that. Well, if you need more than that, then I invite you to adjust your awareness. Because if you can't start off with gratitude for the magical, miraculous thing, you've got trillions of cells in your body right now that have been unconditionally loving on you, unconditionally. You know what that word means? It means no matter what you've done, every cell in your body is unconditionally loving on you. Whether you've taken in drugs, whether you've shamed yourself, guilt, whether you've been in motorcycle accidents that you caused, or harmed yourself through self-talk or negative talk or any other abuse. You can clear that through self-love, just loving on yourself. And this is the biggest key that so many people overlook. And a lot of us were taught that it's egotistical to love ourselves. Oh, that's ego. No, it's not. It's ego if you're doing it to get attention from somebody else because you're needy. But loving on yourself is the most powerful and healing and magnetic thing that you will ever do, because you will attract what? You will attract like-minded people, timelines, abundance, health, and magic and miracles by doing that. It's so key. It's so key. And it's so simple when you finally figure it out. And so the reason I come on and do this, excuse me for just a second. Not sure who's calling me. The reason why I do this is because these tools changed my life completely. And before I met my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, well, one of my teachers, everybody's my teacher, especially everybody that I journey with that goes through my course every month. It's like, these people are amazing. All they do is they step up and they go, look, I don't know what I know. I've watched your thing or I've read your book and I want to go deep and clear this stuff. And in 2 weeks to 30 days, they completely do the inner healing. That happens in the first few days or week. Decades and decades and decades of abuse, sexual trauma, whatever, addictions cleared. I don't heal people. I guide people into doing it on their own when they see the program, why it was there, and how to shift out of it. This stuff, it's amazingly simple. And yet, so many of us, including myself, I struggled with it for decades. And I was fortunate enough, for some reason, part of my soul contract was to meet Don Miguel Ruiz and the other teachers and understand what my belief system was. And when I figured out that my belief system wasn't even my own, oh my God, the whole freaking door just opened up to the universe. Because if you look around, you can observe that the majority of people take on a belief system and it's not even their own. You ever thought about that? Where did your beliefs come from? Well, things just felt good and I resonated with them or whatever. Well, most of your beliefs all of them didn't come from you. None of them really. Came from your parents, your grandparents, the school system. In my case, religion. Every day was judgment day in Catholic school. Shame, guilt, judgment. You'll be lucky to get into heaven when you pass away. On what day? Judgment day. I mean, these are deep programs, and this is how people have been kept and stuck in 3D for so long. And now this is being blown wide open. So I invite you to look at your belief system if you really want to start to begin to manifest things beyond just a house and a car. And there's nothing wrong with those things. Those are kind of cool, essential things. But it's the belief system that's key to look at, because let's look at it a little closer. What is the belief system? It's a set of agreements that the ego holds on to. And as long as things fall within what your belief system is, the ego feels safe and in control, which is false. There is no sense of control. Actually, if you really want to ride the wave, I don't know how that's coming through here. If you really want to ride the wave, you need to let go of all control completely. And so the belief system, you can see this happening all around the world, that if anything challenges somebody's beliefs, or if anything touches on an unhealed childhood wound or trauma, the person does what? They get triggered and they have an emotional reaction. So how do we stop having these emotional reactions and keep attracting the wrong person in life and relationships, keep attracting lack, and keep attracting drama? We go in and we ask ourselves, do I have anything that I am being invited to clear? Think back. Is there anybody that you're still holding judgment or resentment against, including the government or anybody out there? Okay? This is the key, to become the conscious observer. Everything happening out there right now is happening because it has to. It has to wake people up, because a lot of people do not want to look at and admit that almost every single thing they've been told is a lie. That's a shocker. Okay? Many of us have already been through that, and we can see, and we're trying to share with other people. Can't you see? Can't you see what they're doing? Can't you read the ingredients in this concoction? Or, I mean, it's mind-boggling to a lot of us that certain people were attempting to help them save their life, and they don't even want to read ingredients. I mean, they're just like, nope, nope, nope. I believe the television. Why would they lie to me? And we're like, what? Okay, so the bottom line is your belief system isn't even yours. And if you're holding on to it, you're trapped. The belief system, and you may not like this, but if you want to become free, here's the tools for free. Your belief system is a prison. What we believe, even if you're awake and you think you're all flowers and moonbeams and everything, our belief system is so tiny, it wouldn't even cover up the head of a pin. We're still in nursery school. We think we're awake just because we've seen that almost everything we've been taught has been a lie. No, that's nursery school. That's still being in nursery school. I'm talking about, do you wake up every morning and throughout the day and create your reality from an unlimited perspective? And do you even know what an unlimited perspective is? Because I've only scratched the surface of the word unlimited. But I invite you to write that word down in capital letters and put before it capital I, capital A, capital AM. I am an unlimited sovereign being. But am I creating my reality with that mindset? Because most people are like, well, if I just have enough money in the bank, I'll be happy. Well, how much is enough money? Every time I ask people this question, I can see their mind going, like, because $1 million used to be a lot. Now it won't even get you a house, hardly. So how about 100 million? Well, will that last for the rest of my life with inflation? There's no number. And then if you pick a huge number like, well, if I have $5 billion, that'll be pretty good. Then you got to worry about your money and where you're going to keep it and whether it's going to devaluate or it's a trap. It's still a 3D setup. So the key is to become really, really clear that you're creating your reality in every moment. You can give away money and it just comes to you because there's unlimited abundance. As long as you're not thinking that there is a lack of money or anything else, you won't see it. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to struggle. Those are all 3D programs. You can flow. You can be playful. Playful and excitement is one of the highest magnetic frequencies that will pull like-minded people, events, and abundance right to you. People want to hang out with people that are playful and light and in their heart. Synchronicities will show up. Offers will show up to you. You don't need to worry. You don't need to try hard. It's a whole different frequency that we've stepped into now. And my intention to share on this live transmission at 9:33 a.m. on Thursday in Thailand. I don't look up there, but when I do, it's 9:33 with 6 people on here with 6 comments or 6 likes. Synchronicities just start to show up when you get playful in the field. So if anybody has any questions, these lives are Q&A. So if anybody wants to pop in a question that's, doesn't have to do with a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff, I'll be happy to answer it. And it'll open up things for anybody else that's watching this and that's listening and that watches the replay. So just to kind of backtrack here. So with everything speeding up right now, when we consciously use our intention and we do this first thing in the morning, and I talk about this on almost every single live because it's the third piece to the waking up in the dream 30-day journey process. If you're not consciously and intentionally creating your reality first thing every morning before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running again, all you're really doing is carrying in yesterday into today. But when you wake up in the morning, you actually have a 0-point clean slate. And you might wake up and the thoughts might start going. So the process is you wake up and you realize you just came out of the sleeping dream. So while your head's still on the pillow, I have everybody that I journey with, they immediately start to consciously breathe. And they put their hands on their body and they feel in to these trillions of cells that have been loving on them ever since they've been in the womb. And they've been purifying your blood and beating your heart your entire life. The whole time while you're asleep, they're unconditionally loving on you, asking for nothing in return. Okay, so you do that, you drop a smile on top. Now guess what? Your mind is cleared through taking some slow breaths. If your mind is still running, then just take a few more slow, deep breaths and smile. Because when you smile and drop down into your heart, this has to stop. This is the key. Your breath is the key. That's why there's so much distraction in the outer 3D world. Get sucked into this, get sucked into this. More fear, more resistance, more judgment. White lives matter, black lives matter, Republican versus Democrat, all this separation. When you can step back and observe and just go, isn't that interesting? One of the most powerful 3-word mantras you will ever put in your toolkit. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting is neutral. So it doesn't drag you down into 3D when you see something in the external world that might be terrible, what they're doing to the children or what they're brainwashing people with. You're just like, isn't that interesting? Wow. I'm so glad that I'm here at this time, one of the greatest times in recorded history, because the shift is on and I can observe it. Keyword observe instead of reacting to. I can observe it in every moment. And the more that I observe, the more things become clear. Every time I automatically react, then I'm just attracting more of that into my frequency field. Every time I have a judgment, I'm going to begin to see and attract more of what I judge into my field. I used to be a judge-aholic. I was taught to be in Catholic school. I wrote a whole chapter in the book on judgment because it's the biggest addiction on the planet. But the ego feels justified judging anything that challenges its belief system or touches on a childhood wound. Those two pieces, if you clean them up, it'll shift your entire reality. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Is one of the most powerful mantras of neutrality you will ever. So I invite you to make that an automatic. Everybody that goes through the course, they get that dialed in within 2 days. They begin to watch their words. They stop using words like work, job, OLD. They stop using need, want, wish, hope, try, difficult, should. Those are all spell words that tell your subconscious that whatever you desire is still not here yet. But we weren't taught that. So we're just like, yeah, I need to do this. And yeah, sure, I hope that I'm going to make, more money. And I hope that I'm going to find my ideal job. Those are weak. I intend, or better yet, it is done. It's here now. So when you're lying in bed and you're creating your reality first thing every morning, then what do? Who's creating your reality? Is it just random? Some people are lucky and some people aren't. That's what I used to think. Well, the rich kids, they got money, so, they're always going to be set. That's what I saw in my neighborhood. That's what I thought. However, if you wake up each morning and you set your intention to manifest anything that you desire, and you see it is already here now. That's the key. You see it is already here now. The abundance, the health, the cool people, the relationships, playing concerts all over the world. One of my favorite things. Whatever you're into, hanging out with the most incredible animals, being in nature. You don't have any debt. Whatever it is, you're just happy. You're doing what you love. Like-minded people come into your reality every day. They're already here now. It's never in the future. They didn't even tell you that in The Secret, the movie from Rhonda Byrne. And I gave away like 11 of those DVDs for Christmas that year. But yeah, so if you're not consciously and intentionally creating your reality every single morning, I invite you to do that. Because if you don't, you're going to drag in more of the same. So if you're really happy with what you've already got going on, I can tell you that you're consciously doing it already. But if you'd like to really kickstart a new life, use this information and go watch the videos on my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening. There's probably 100 hours of every single tool that I share in the book, the digital online course, the PowerPoint trainings, and the one-on-one stuff that I take people through. Yeah, if you come journey with me for 30 days, we're going to be in contact every single day almost. And we're going to go deep and nothing is going to get by. And we're going to have fun doing it. It's priceless. It's priceless. And I've never found anything that will more quickly shift those three pieces: complete inner healing, dismantling the belief system to where none of that stuff triggers you anymore. And you wake up excited every single day. I'm not kidding. Yeah, you might wake up once in a while and you had a bad dream or something happened, or, somebody you loved, whatever, life happens. But you will never let it pull you down for more than a very, very short amount of time. And it will shift the way that you manifest every single thing in your reality. You know that you can reverse your aging? How am I doing? This is what's coming, people. Our DNA is getting switched on, okay? The energies coming into the planet are stronger than they've ever been. The collective is waking up, which means that that's affecting you as well. Everything is affecting everything else. Everybody's our mirror, including the people that are doing some of the bad stuff. That's the collective that we're cleaning up over thousands and thousands of years. So what do? We love on them. We love on them. Yeah, if I see somebody harming a child or whatever, I might take them out. I might fill out a petition. I might go to a rally. We don't call them protests anymore. It's a positive rally of uniting. But I'm not fighting anything. That's old 3D. That's resistance, resistance, resistance. I'm observing, and I'm loving, and I'm forgiving. Isn't that interesting? We begin to do this every morning, and then the people that I journey with through my course, I have them set 15 alarms on their phone every day. How many of you are pulling your phone out right now to do this? Your alarm goes off. You don't have to catch them all, but your alarm goes off, and it's just a tap on the shoulder. Psst, where are you right now? Where's your frequency? Are you excited? You want to do a quick little imagining Everything you desire is already here now, just like you do when you wake up in the morning. Woo! Yeah, you do that 10 or 15 times a day. Multiply that times 30 days in a month, and you watch what starts to magnetize into your reality. Abundance, synchronicities, people, magic, and miracles. Yeah, guaranteed, guaranteed. So yeah, I'm excited. I love sharing this stuff because it works, and it works better than anything else I've ever done. And I've paid for 3-day seminars in San Diego, Los Angeles, Sedona, and even Las Vegas. I've spent over $100,000 buying every top spiritual book, from The Secret to Think and Grow Rich to everything. And not one of them taught me how to go in and do these 3 pieces as simply as this book. And that may sound egotistical. It may sound like a sales pitch. All I can tell you is, if you watch my lives, I give all this stuff away. And yeah, and I also bring in abundance, journeying with people and doing stuff. But I'm working within 3D because I have bills too. You know, that's all going to be eliminated very soon. It's time to get excited about this stuff, people. We are here at the greatest time in recorded history. And there are so many incredible things happening right now, and they're going to happen. And I know a lot of people, and please don't be one of these people that says, I'll see it when I believe it. That is so 3D. I would say that's even 2D, if there is a 2D. That's so giving your power away. No, believe it, know it, and pull it in. This is how the dream works. Stop being influenced by the external unless the external is exciting the holy frickin' crap out of you. You are creating this reality. I love this. Hey, Elaine. Yeah, ageless. The body might be aging a little bit, but I'm telling you, there's med beds. All this stuff already exists. And the med bed is just the next step to get people to believe that, okay, so there's a machine that can do it. Okay, so now that we see it, now we believe it. Okay, well, what'll be the next step after the med bed? You just do it. Before our DNA got hijacked, we didn't age. There's proof for anybody that wants to look it up that there were people that were 9 to 15 feet tall that they examined their bones and they lived to be over 1,000 years young. I never use the word OLD. Never tell anybody how OLD you are. Why? It's not just because I'm being anal. Again, it's because every one of your trillions of cells is consciously aware, and it's listening to every single thought and every single word and the emotional frequency that you put behind that. And we were taught that when you get over 4-0, that now you're starting to get OLD. So guess what the cells begin to do if you keep sending them that message? All right? Thank you, Heather. I love you. I love you guys. It's great to see some comments because that lets me know people are resonating, or at least we got some kind of open thing going here. And, you know, again, if anybody has any questions, pop them in. And there's no stupid question. There's no judgment in here. This is the safest, most playful, cool zone, one of them ever. And I won't allow anybody to judge anybody in here. And here's what happens. When somebody asks a question, there's usually somebody sitting back wishing that they would answer the same question, but they're afraid to ask it, so they don't. So when somebody asks the first question, it opens up the whole thing, and then everybody feels safe. And then if anybody of you have watched these lives before, all of a sudden then everybody starts asking a question, but almost nobody wants to be the first one to do it. I don't know why. I used to be like that with my teacher, Miguel. I used to go to these 3-day weekends, and, you know, I wanted to get what I came for because I signed up. If you wanted to be part of the Dreaming Weekends starting back in 2002, I think it was, 2002 or 2003, this was a very small group back then in San Diego. And I happened to live there, and I was the closest guy in the whole country to the Dreaming Center. People used to fly in from Florida, Mexico, Connecticut, and I would ride my motorcycle or my car 2 miles and I'd be at the Dreaming Center. Well, the one thing about if you wanted to be part of the dreaming group, the elite group, and study with Miguel, you had to commit to 1 year at a time. And at that time, it was like $333 a month. And I didn't have it. I was living in my recording studio. But one of my friends said, she was a woman friend of mine, she said, just go for it. You'll manifest it. Just go for it. Jump. And so I did. I jumped. And every single month, the money showed up. And so we're in this group, very small group, and Miguel's there speaking with Barbara Emrys, and once in a while there would be some other guests, Brant Morgan and Carol Toon, and these amazing people that all lived in San Diego at the time. And I would be like afraid to ask a question because there's other people in the room, and I'm like, fuck, I'm in fear. But I was like, I don't want to leave this weekend and go without having my question answered. So I would finally answer it or ask it, and then it'd get answered, and the light bulb would go off, and all of a sudden, I felt so much better, and I left the weekend feeling like $1 million. So feel into your body thank you, Heather. Yeah, I'm in Thailand right now. It's Thursday. Yeah, that's the beauty of this technology. How incredible. Almost every single person that I journey with through the 30-day that do the mentorship with me, and every single person I connect with is because of this technology. So I'm so grateful to Facebook. Thank you, Zuck, George Soros, for your plan. And so happy that the inverted plan has backfired completely. And the entire world is waking up. So what a blessing. How exciting. How wonderful. So here's a question. I love it. Thank you, Heather. Okay, great. So what about when going to sleep at night? How would you suggest you end the day? Thank you for this question. It's wonderful. And you know why it's wonderful? Because your subconscious is awake all night long. It never sleeps. So what do you want your subconscious to be focusing on while we are in the sleeping dream, as opposed to right now in the waking dream? Because we're dreaming all the time, right? We're in a dream right now. When Miguel told me that, my mind was like, what? Because the ego can't control that because it's not sure, It's so great. So great when you bust the belief system in the ego's programs. It frees you. Okay? So before you go to sleep, I invite you to do the same thing you do as soon as you awaken and your head's still on the pillow. Breathe love into your body, every cell, and don't forget to drop the smile on. Because if you do that right now, it's okay, nobody's watching. Close your eyes, rub on your cells. And what I like to do is I do oming because I'm a musician and recording guy. I vibrate my body. So it goes something like this. I love you, every cell. And now feel your chest, your whole freaking body's vibrating. 11 people with 11 loves. I love that. Okay, so your whole body's vibrating. You got a smile on. When you drop the smile on, your frequency goes up. You might feel silly doing this. If you feel silly, let's look at that program right now. Because I'll tell you what, silliness and playfulness and excitement are the highest, most attractive, healing frequencies you will ever do. So I say, get real fucking silly. I said it. Get real silly and playful like a little child. And the more you can go back to dismantling all these beliefs and all this serious stuff and begin to be playful like a little child, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, your life will turn into one of magic and miracles because you are so magnetic to the playful frequencies that that's all you will attract. So we do it in the morning. We get excited. We love on our body. We ramp up the vibration. You can into your body. I invite you to do that. Why wouldn't you do it? Does it feel weird? Does your ego tell you it's weird? Dismantle that real quick. Because I'll tell you what, it's one of the most healing things you will ever do. And you don't have to go to a doctor, and you don't have to take a poisonous pill. All you do is love on your body. I love you so much, you crazy dude. I love you. You've been through so much shit. You've done so many stupid things. And now you've kind of figured out that love is the answer, and you've healed your shit, and life is becoming amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. And get frickin' playful. Can you do it? Are you willing to do it? Is there any resistance? Okay. So before we go to sleep, what instructions would we like to give our subconscious to focus on all night long? Oh, my body's healed. I'm getting younger all the time. All this amazing stuff's happened on the planet every day when I awaken, and throughout the day, the most incredible synchronicities and people and abundance and fun stuff and cool stuff and magic and miracles and mind-blowing flowers and nature and animals and information and insights and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's all here now. It's never in the future. That's the best I got right there. You know? It works. Yeah. And then remember to do it. 12. I love that. I'm going to take a snapshot of that. 12 people, 12 likes or loves. Thank you, everybody, for engaging. I appreciate it. Yeah. You know, connectivity is one of the strongest things. It's why there's more than one of us. It's why we're not just here sitting on top of a mountain going, okay, I created all this. This is fun. No, we split up into billions and billions of different people so we could love on each other and mirror each other and be playful and have fun at this party. And we're getting ready to turn Earth into the greatest party, healing, magical planet anywhere. Yeah, and we're here for it. Okay, Elaine's got something so cool. Let's check it out. All right, I had some old father energy came up in the form of control through a client. Came on really hard. I told him, I come in peace, I'm your friend. Interesting. Okay. Isn't that interesting? First of all, that's neutral place to observe. And then a client came on really hard. I guess he was projecting on you or whatever. So when anybody comes on hard, that means they're triggered. That means they're having an emotional reaction. So what we do is we just hold space. I invite people to take a breath if they get triggered or they go in judgment or whatever. And on my calls, they're all playful anyway. So things happen very, very, very quickly. It's just because I've been doing this for so long. It's like, and people put their trust in me, and I'm here to love on them. But I go right in to the wound or whatever it is. And yeah, we might have some tears. They might have to pound some stuff out on their pillow after a call or whatever, but we clear stuff that's been in their field, holding them back for 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 decades. And it happens like that. And it's because of creating a safe space where they know they will not be judged. And I just love on them. And I invite them to take a breath. And yeah, if there's tears, that's great. Tears are the most healing, orgasmic thing on the planet. But when somebody gets on a call with me, thank you, Elaine, for sharing that. You're amazing. When somebody gets on a call with me, usually it's the first call at the beginning of the 30 days. And, you know, we go into the pain or the forgiveness. And yeah, there's some tears. And guess what almost every single person does every time they have a tear? They reach up, they wipe it off, and then what do? They apologize. I'm like, don't apologize. We're clearing and healing decades of stuff. This is the healing. Feeling is healing. Crying is the greatest thing ever. And it takes courage, because in a world where people judge you for crying, unless their heart's open, they're like, oh my God, I love people that cry. They're in touch with their emotions. I love that. Makes me cry. I can cry on a call talking to somebody when they don't cry because I feel their pain. I understand what they went through. I'm in touch with that. I'm holding space and I get tears. I get goosebumps. I feel. Feeling is healing. So don't ever, ever apologize for crying. It's the greatest healing thing you'll ever do. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you guys for hanging on the call. I mean, I come on and I'm like, what am I going to say today that I didn't say, 3 days ago on my Tuesday live or whatever? But, I go to bed at night or I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, okay, I want to talk about that. And so today, here's the notes that I wrote down. With intention and conscious awareness in these new energies, you're going to be able to manifest things faster and faster than ever before. So we work with energy and magnetism all the time because we are magnetic beings, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Our magnet is always on. It's always either attracting or repelling based on our beliefs, our frequency, and our vibration. So we can learn to consciously work with energy and magnetism. This is what we're all doing all the time, to amplify the power of our thoughts and our vibration to create and attract more quickly what we are envisioning. So check this out. Here's the great news. A few moments of focused, intentional energy work, and this is the only time I'm going to use the word WORK, because if I said play, a lot of people might not get it. So I rarely ever use the word WORK because it's got a very heavy energy to it, but I'm going to use it here. So disclaimer. So a few moments of energy work combined with really feeling the magnetism by using excitement. Excitement, it's one of the highest frequencies. It's my favorite word. And done with a sense of clarity about the desire, the intention. Okay, so when we talk about clarity, we're about it's already here now. It's not in the future. When you tell somebody about I'll say it in 3D terms and I'll say it in 3D, 4D or 5D terms. What you are intending to manifest, then you tell somebody, I've already manifested it. My new home, my new job, my new trip around the world, whatever. It's already here now. So a few moments of doing this each day, each morning, before you go to bed and throughout the day, you set alarms on your phone, you're going to start magnetizing stuff into your reality that is going to begin to come so easy that a few moments of this clarity and tuning in with a smile and envisioning it will create greater results than hours of any trying or hard work. Yeah, I intend you get that download, and it'll be on the recording. It's on my page, and it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel later. But this is really, really key. And yes, excitement is the highest magnetic frequency that I know of. And yeah, crying is great. The whole planet could use a good cry, especially the men. I'm involved with a lot of men that are very in touch with their feminine side. But a lot of people, I journey with men in the UK and like Ireland and stuff, and they're taught, be a man, don't be a pussy, and don't show your feelings. And that's why a lot of men have heart attacks and, stuff like that, It's super key. Crying is great. In fact, if you're crying, high five. Fuck yeah, I love you. I'm giving you a hug right now. Crying is great. Shame about crying is not great. Feeling is healing. Always remember that. Feeling is healing. As long as you're not crying like a little kid to get attention and get what you want, because they begin to play that card. If a parent gives in and gives them what they want every time, then they just go, oh, if I cry, I get what I want. Okay, so that can backfire. But we're adults here, so we're speaking about a different thing here. So, yeah. So anybody have any questions? You're welcome, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing your time. Yeah, this is great. I can feel the energy on this call. And, This just brings me so much joy that even if one person is benefiting from this, because I'm telling you what, this stuff took me over 20 plus years to figure out, and over $100,000. And I never had a lot of money. I was always just barely getting by because that was my program. You know, many of you maybe know my dad died when I was 7, and I got tossed into private Catholic schools, and my uncle had 8 children. So I was mirrored lack. If you don't eat the last pea on your plate, you know, all that stuff. It was all lack and fear around money. And I understand because that's what they experienced and that's what they were taught. But that was my program for a long time. So yeah, if anybody is benefiting from this, then it makes me very happy because, you know, the transformation that I watch people go through in the course it's mind-boggling. It frickin' rocks. I've never seen anything work faster. And I put all my effort and passion into this. So if anybody's interested in that, there's a link. You can always go to Portal to Awakening. I only journey with 4 people a month because when somebody puts their trust in me, we're in it for 30 days. 1 call a week, a long call, all recorded, PowerPoint trainings that get you to see the program. And you can't dismantle a program until you can see it. But these PowerPoint trainings you're just like, oh my God, everybody should watch these. This is what the program does. And you start to dismantle this stuff very, very quickly. And so I can only journey with 4 people a month because it takes a lot of my time and effort, and I'm holding a lot of space. But it's the most life-changing thing that I've ever come across. And if anybody's interested in doing that, feel free to go to Portal to Awakening and just read about it. Read the testimonials. There's people on there that have taken every course, EST, and all these other programs, and are like, oh my God, I saw programs I was still running from childhood. It's great. And this will be taught in school very soon. Some version of it, either through me or somebody else. Because when we learn what an emotional trigger is, how to dismantle it, and we learn to ask, what is the gift this is trying to teach me? Every single time we have a judgment, a trigger, or a less than thought, and we go through the process, you do 30 days of tracking every judgment and catching it and writing it down on a sheet every night, which is what I have my clients do. They start to track every judgment, every less than thought, every shame, every guilt, every trigger, every judgment. And they start to see, oh my God, they're just automatics. They're just automatics. When you begin to see the program, it starts to be dismantled, along with the PowerPoint trainings and my mirroring. Your entire frequency and the way that you see and manifest your reality completely shifts. And you will never forget it as long as you live once you see the program. It's why I do this, because to me, it's the most life-changing thing I've ever come across. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So let me see if I have any other notes. If you have, I have a good one here. If you have any questions that you've been wanting to ask and you're like, oh, should I ask it? Now's the time to pop it in. Or you can come back on the next slide, but now's a great time. So here's something that's really, really powerful. And I came up with this last night while I was lying in bed, because all I do when I wake up in the middle of the night, my mind's clear and I'm like, okay, does anything want to come through? And it's not like, St. Germain's giving me some download or whatever. Those people don't talk to me. I don't, and if you really break it down, you are St. Germain, you are Jesus, you are God. There's only one. But in the middle of the night, when I get clear, this is when the downloads come to me. So my download last night, if I want to be the most neutral, high vibrational person walking through the rest of my path, doing what I love, playing music, playing with animals, taking people through this course until enough people wake up to where we don't need this course. And that'll happen too. I mean, come on. Even this course feels like kindergarten to me. It's like when you really begin to see how people have been programmed so brilliantly through this belief system and all these triggers, you'll just go, wow, those dark mofos really knew what they were doing. They knew how to play us perfectly. But we knew this was going to happen before we came down here. So we're like, we're going to go down to earth and we are going to be in the most incredible movie. It's going to be scary. It's going to be a thrill ride. It's going to be incredible. And it's going to be so challenging. But we know that we're going to find our way out. And we know that we're going to help to shift thousands, if not millions of years of low vibrational program and enslavement. So here we are doing it. So high five to everybody. Today, look in the mirror and go, high five. I love you. You rock. Thank you for coming here right now. I love you. And no matter what the ego says, you never leave the mirror until your I love you is 100%. And everybody that goes through the course journey does this. Because one of the things that most people that I journey with, they have resistance to doing the mirror exercises. They're just not comfortable with saying, I love you so much. Now, a lot of you are. You've done the inner journeying, but believe me, a lot of people are not comfortable. And so I have them do it until they get comfortable. And over, a couple of weeks, everything shifts for them. Everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, any questions? Okay, so here is my download from last night. Okay, so we're navigating through the dream. We have all these thoughts going and stuff. Okay, cool. We have supposedly like 50 to 80,000 thoughts running. I think Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton says that. I love these guys. And so 50 to 80,000 thoughts that are running on autopilot underneath the surface, but the subconscious is running them. And they say that for the majority of people, about 80% of those are negative. So do you think it's going to be easy to manifest what you desire if your subconscious is running negative subconscious programs? It could be difficult. I'm not going to say it's going to be, because I'm not going to create that reality for myself or anybody else, but it could be. And it's just something to look at. So this process of going through the waking up in the dream process, or whatever process you want to do, of beginning to observe all of your thoughts, catching all of your judgments. If you do nothing but that alone, it'll shift everything in your reality. Because judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet by far, way beyond drugs and alcohol. It's the biggest addiction. Look around. Look at how we judge. You clean that up, and every time you have a judgment, you train yourself to feel it in your body, and you stop and go, okay, there's a judgment. So you breathe in, you take a breath, because that stops the mind from going, yeah, they always do that. Those people are really bad, the dark ones, da, da, da. The mind just feeds off judgments like Pac-Man all day long until you train it to feed off of awareness and excitement and love, and get playful. It'll switch shoulders. It'll go from being, in the beginning of the course, I have everybody name their ego. Many of you know that I named my ego Larry. Larry was the judge and the conniver and the fear base and the lack dude. And now Larry's over here going, man, we're going to have fun. We are manifesting some great stuff. It just takes practice to get them to shift. And this is what the tools do. So, okay, yeah. All right, so here's a great question. All right, thank you, Lacey. Can you give an example of how to change the thought? Replace it with what? It'd be great if you gave me the thought, but until you do, or if you don't, I'm just going to dive in and go, okay, so we're talking about low vibrational thoughts, judgments, less than, I'm not good enough, I'm still not there yet, I still don't know how to manifest yet, I'm still get frustrated. Okay, so how do you replace it with, you take a breath, you catch the trigger. The trigger is any judgment, anything that doesn't come from love is called a trigger. That includes judgments, shame, guilt, anger, resentment, emotional trigger, whatever it is. First thing is you stop and take a breath. You put your hand on your heart. You breathe in slowly, and then you drop a smile on. Now that, along with putting your hand on your heart, that connects you into your body through your breath, and it drops you out of the mind that's running the emotional reactional trigger, and it drops you down into your heart with a smile. And if it's a big trigger, it might take a couple more slow breaths. But breath is the key. And I invite everybody on this call to begin to become really consciously aware of your breathing throughout the day. Because most of us, including myself, are breathing very shallow. Not even filling up our diaphragm or anything. That's fight or flight. That's a learned automatic thing that we've all learned. And so when they talk about doing yogic breathing or everything, you don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to get on the mat. I mean, it's good to stretch out your body. But the number one thing that I do every day is I go out, I get into nature, I take my flip-flops off, and I ground onto the planet, Mother Earth. I stand on some soft grass or some dirt, and I imagine my feet going down and connecting into the earth. You have no idea, maybe some of you do, how much there's more activity going on underneath the dirt than there is above. It's unbelievably, mind-blowingly fascinating, the network of everything. The trees are connected to the soil, connected to the nutrients, connected to the bugs. It's freaking healing, all I can tell you. Okay, so get in touch with your breath. So getting back to Lacey's question, we have the trigger, we take a breath, and then I have everybody ask, what is this trying to show me or teach me? Okay, so now we're in a neutral zone because we've just calmed ourselves with our breath. So we've stopped the emotional trigger in this story. They always do that to me. She always does that. I can't believe how, all that bullshit chatter, feeding on more drama. Now we've stopped that with our breath. Okay, so here's the thought. Cool. Your kid may get sick today. Okay, so you notice that your child may get sick today. How does that make you feel when you think it? It's fucking low vibrational. It's fear-based. It may be it's only one possible reality out of a million. How about this? My kid just sneezed. Wow, sneezing is a completely 100% natural function of the body that just blew out something that might have been on top of his throat or whatever. My child has an immune system. I don't have to worry about anything because the immune system will do exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay? So in this case, you're automatic. And this, I'm just not just pointing out on you, Lacey. The person's automatic who thought, my child might get sick today. I'm afraid they need to wear a face diaper and block all their breathing and breathe in all of their bacteria over and over and over, which has been proven 1,000,000 times over in the last 2 years. Masks are harmful. There, I said it. Okay? So the person has the thought, my child might get sick today. That's a fear-based thought based on what? Where did that come from? Where did that false belief come from? Why, when your child sneezed, didn't you go, oh my God, I love how my child's natural system does what it's supposed to do? Because we've been trained that 80% of most of our thoughts are negative. And this is what this frickin' thing dismantles. So if you don't have this book, or you can get the digital course with all the PowerPoint trainings for like $97. It's the price of going out for a night on the weekend. It will change your life. If you're serious about changing your life and dismantling decades of programming, check it out. Or go watch more of my YouTube videos. If you really want to frickin' rock your world, come and do 30 days with me. And I don't stretch it out to 60 or 90, or you need to do 6 months or sign up for a year like my teacher did. 30 days and I will rock your world. You will rock your world. But I will hold the space and I will give you everything that it took me over 20 to 30 years and over $100,000. And I've simplified it down and it works. So is that clear, Lacey? Okay, great. You got it. Okay, so Feel the less than thought, the judgment, the trigger, the fear, the emotion, whatever, that's not love or excitement or joy or gratitude, the highest magnetic frequencies that is our intention to be operating in every day. Feel it, stop, take a breath. I put my hand on my heart, I breathe in and I smile, and I go, okay, here's another piece to dismantle. I get happy. Sometimes I get frustrated, like, fuck, there's still, no. But I know, then I smile after I, do my emotional outburst or whatever. I don't get triggered a lot. And I don't get triggered around other people. I only usually get triggered when I'm by myself and I'm on my computer or something. And then I'm like, oh, somebody needs to take a break after 6 hours of having 50 tabs open and multitasking. And yeah, so paying attention to our emotions is the greatest thing that we can do. And so that's it. So if you have any other questions around that, pop it in. Hey, Carl, great to see you. Thank you so much for that. That makes me feel really wonderful because, I get on here with doubts sometimes. I get on and there's like 1 or 2 people. I'm like, what? There's usually like 13 to 30 people. I don't, the mind does what it does. It's constantly evaluating and shifting. And so the key is to train ourselves to just go. And I don't even know if there's anybody else out there. If you've heard me do a live before, I'm just talking to myself to remind myself, don't forget this stuff, Jeff. Don't forget to be playful. Don't forget to catch every judgment. And I don't have them very much anymore. I've done the process because I used to be a judgeaholic, and that's a really low vibrational state. It'll keep you trapped forever. So anyway, thank you everybody for the wonderful comments. Thank you for showing up. Last question, if anybody has one, pop it in. Hey, Asta, great to see you. Yes, 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 yes. Heather named her ego Blanche. Yeah, it's really valuable to name your ego because then you can begin to see when it's doing what it's doing. And if you have a friend that you want to play the waking up in the dream game with or whatever, you can go, oh, is that Larry? And Larry will go, no, it's not Larry. Larry will always say it's not Larry. He'll always have an excuse while it's not him. But it's Larry if it's not love, excitement, playfulness, gratitude, or one of the other higher frequencies. Yeah. Carl says, okay, I've been off the rails lately. Okay. All right, cool. First step in shifting anything is seeing it and admitting it. So I don't know if you just came on, a little bit after 10, Carl, but I started a little bit after 9. So if you want to come back and watch this, you can, but there's some great tools in here. And again, the process is available. The digital course is available. And, all my other videos on my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening, and it's TO, not the number 2. So it's Portal to Awakening, just like my website on YouTube. Everything's free, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of my lives with other people, powerful topics on healing. Really basically, okay, cool. Can I give you an example of a judgment? Yeah. Anything that doesn't come from love. I don't like that person. Those people are bad. She's ugly. I suck. I hate the government. A judgment is any thought that doesn't come from love. It can be an observation. You can stand back and go, okay, those, child molesters need to be removed from the planet. But you do it in a space of neutrality. Okay? Oh yeah, there's sneaky judgments. Yeah. Like I haven't learned and figured out a way that my mind doesn't go, if I see somebody, I'll just be honest here, I'll take one for the team here, okay? I'm not proud of this, but if I see somebody that's really overweight, my mind goes, that person's either fat or overweight. So that, I feel the frequency of that, and that hurts me. I don't want to be projecting that. A person's weight has nothing to do with how incredibly magnificent and beautiful they are. So as soon as I feel that automatic, I just send them love and I say, thank you so much for being my teacher. I love you. And I want to talk to you. I want to be your friend, whatever, you know? So that's a sneaky judgment that I haven't learned how to clear. But yeah, so good stuff, everybody. 0 point is key. Yeah. So my final thing, when I woke up at 3 a.m. and I downloaded this, I was like, okay, so if I am, capital I, capital A, am, which I am doing, I am a sovereign divine being, fully responsible for every single thing that shows up in my reality. Everything. What is the gift here? What is the gift here? What is the gift here is my mantra. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? These are my mantras, and they're simple. And if you enact these and put them in your toolkit, everything in your life and reality will shift for the better. I promise you. Because there are no judgments in 5D. There can't be. There is no fear in 5D. There can't be. So yeah, if we still got fear, I still get fears. I don't know if they're all mine or the collective. I tune into them and I ask the questions and I drop into my heart and I go through the process. What is this trying to show me or teach me? And I've dismantled decades and decades of stuff just doing that. And you can do it really quickly. So when I asked myself the question, and I woke up last night, I'm like, how do I want to navigate moving through the dream, moving forward? Well, I obviously want to be operating in the higher frequencies, because to get into 5D, we have to heal, which means we have to forgive everybody. Any trauma, sexual abuse, no matter what it is, we have to heal it. We can't just forgive a little bit. Here's how you can tell if you've forgiven somebody. I'm going to be very careful with this, and this is the last thing I'm going to share before I go. I think. You'll know that you're healed and you've cleared the frequency from the past when you can thank the person. So we thank our parents, even if they were abusive. We thank whatever. Now, let me be clear. I journey with people that have been raped, sexually molested, trauma, stuff like that, okay? I'm not stating that you need to thank that person. But in reality, whether you want to look at it or not, if you truly want to heal, it was part of your soul contract. I can't tell you why, and I can't prove it to you. Maybe you did that to somebody in a previous lifetime, or maybe you decided to come in and clear that for the entire collective, which my hat's off to you. I'll tell you what, the people that I journey with that have been through the most horrific stuff go on to be the greatest teachers and the most compassionate space holders for other people on the planet. So if you've been through the most horrific thing, do not shame yourself. There's a reason why you did it. Yeah. And complete forgiveness of yourself and anybody else. So when you can thank people for perfectly playing their role in your soul contract, then you know you've 100% cleared this stuff out of your energetic field. And that's the only way to move beyond 3D, because you can't get into 5D holding on to any of that stuff anymore. And if you think that sucks, I understand the initial feeling, but I'm sharing with you the tools here to free yourself. You can do it. And if you need help, reach out. We can do it very, very quickly. The success rate of these tools is 100%. I'm not just saying that. I've had a couple people go through the course when I used to do groups, and maybe they didn't know what they were getting into, and they got into the group thing, and they learned a lot, and they started to watch, but they didn't really want to do the healing part. And that's okay. They weren't ready yet. But when I journey one-on-one with somebody, we go in and we do it fast. And your whole reality gets shifted within a week or two. I'm telling you. I can promise you that even. So anyway, thank you, everybody. And I'm going to finish with, so I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, if I'm going to navigate through this dream and attract more of that which I desire, and I'm going to be operating in 5D and beyond, and be the creator of New Earth, along with all you other amazing people that are on this call, then here's what I'm going to do. I get real clear that I'm either going to completely love everything, and I'm going to use, isn't that interesting? What is this trying to teach me? For anything that might still be distorted in my field, or an old program I might not have cleared yet. And I'm either completely loving everything or I'm neutral. Okay? So what I'm asking of myself and what I'm committing to and what I'm inviting for you to do, you're either completely loving things or you're neutral. So let me give you an example of what being neutral is. I do a lot of research. I'm doing less and less now because it's like, if you're not awake by now, you don't want to be awake because you don't want to admit that most everything you've been taught has been wrong. It's okay. You may stay in 3D. I don't know what you're going to do. I'm intending that everybody comes along to 5D, 12D, 1 million D, whatever. Nobody's excluded because we're all connected. There's no ego. Everybody wins. Everybody goes back to love. However, being neutral means if I'm observing something like pedophiles getting arrested, people being taken off the planet for adrenochrome, child sacrifice, poisoning people with the jibby jab, deceiving everybody with all of the toxic pharmaceuticals where nothing is natural, all the doctors that take an oath, especially in the US, that they will not prescribe anything natural. I'm a doctor and I'm going to take an oath that says that I won't prescribe anything natural. Really? You're a brainwashed doctor. Yeah. Who thinks since you just went through 4 or 6 years of college with one of the satanic societies, Harvard, Yale, whatever. This is reality, folks. Okay. So anyway, bottom line, being neutral. That means you can observe anything going on in 3D and you can send it love, knowing that it's perfectly playing its role to wake people up. So, my commitment, I'm either completely loving things or I'm the completely neutral observer, simply observing and sending love and compassion to anything that appears to still need some healing or some compassion or some love. Really, really powerful. So anybody that decides to do that, my hat's off to you. I love you all. Thank you for hanging on here for 1 minute and for an hour and 22 minutes. How did I plan that? I didn't. Or did I? We're amazing. I hope you feel that you're amazing. I don't always feel like I'm amazing. You know, I go up and down, but man, I definitely create my reality every morning and throughout the day. I have alarms on my phone. I take time to drop in throughout the day. I get out in nature, and I've set up a lifestyle where I only do what I love. I only share what I'm passionate about, which is music, nature, wild jungle dogs, waking up in the dream, and creating other projects that I have going on with other people, bringing more people together in unity and travel and doing workshops and stuff like that. And you can do it too. Don't think that you can't. If you're currently doing a job that you don't like, just begin to go, isn't that interesting? I got into this for security because I had to pay my bills. Okay, got it. So did everybody else. But is there something else burning down inside me that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't think I could do it because either my ego said, well, you can't make a living doing it. That's bullshit. That's a lie. You can make a living doing anything that you desire. All you have to do is be playful and put your energy into it. I see it happen every month with my clients. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If anybody's interested in grabbing one of the spots for the 30-day journey, follow the link or just go to Portal to Awakening. There's 3 choices: book, digital course, and that. It's real simple. You don't have to read through 900 pages of me trying to convince you why you should do it. There's some testimonials on there that are great, but it's real quick if you want to check it out. And then if you want some more reinforcement, subscribe to the YouTube channel or just bookmark it and go there and listen to stuff. And if you know any friends, love you, Elaine. She popped in her heart at 10:33. I love that. 10:33 right now in Thailand. I love you, everybody. If you know anybody that could use some upliftment and this resonates or some tools, feel free to share this stuff with them or give them my Facebook or whatever. And everybody have an incredible day or evening wherever you are. I'll be back in a couple days for another live. And just thank you for everybody here that participated, held space, and that shares these with other people. Immense gratitude. And remember, there is so much good happening right now. If you knew all the good happening right now, you would be giggling on the floor that you came here at this time. Hey, Wayne, great to see you. You would be rolling around in laughter at the incredible reveals that everybody's about to get hit with. And yeah, some of it's going to be shocking because people need to know, so they don't continue to keep trusting people in government and shit like that. We're going to self-govern. We're going to have leaders that we trust. All this is shifting. Money system, free energy, med beds, it's coming. So don't be one of those, I'll believe it when I see it. Go, that sounds good. I'm imagining that, and I'm holding the frequency as it's already done. Boom. That's how you manifest. It's already here now. I love you all. Have an incredible day or evening, wherever you're at. Till next time.